Hi, welcome back to the next episode of Back in a Mill. I'm joined today by Keshia Johns, who is a nurse in the A&E department and also an aesthetics practitioner at KHJ Aesthetics. So, hello, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. It's really nice to see you here. And we've just figured out that you're quite local, which was nice.
Very local, which I didn't realise until I booked it. And then I was like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That works perfect.
Yeah, literally, so much better.
Yeah.
So do you want to start by telling me a little bit about your upbringing? And we'll kind of bring that into the actual main episode because you're very inspirational. Yeah. And I kind of want to know how you were brought up and where that might have come from.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So a lot of people won't believe it. And I actually put a poll out on my story not so long ago. And I was like, okay, so can anybody guess what sort of upbringing, what kind of home like I was brought up in, what kind of music I was brought up on, and a lot of my friends obviously guessed correctly because they knew, but a lot of my clients, they was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. So believe it or not, I was brought up in Irish household.
Was you?
Yeah. Irish household.
Okay, that's a shock.
Around country and western. Gammon and mash every night for tea on a council estate. So yeah, that was me. And then I go to my dad's on the weekend for jerk chicken and rice and peas.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that was my upbringing.
Who did you spend most time with?
Very chaotic upbringing.
Yeah.
A lot of time at home.
Really?
Had a very busy house, like lots like stepbrothers, stepsisters. Okay. So I wasn't an only child. On my dad's side, I wasn't an only child, so it's completely different than when I went to my dad's house on the weekend. Mm-hmm. I loved that time. It was just me and my dad. It was nice. But yeah, that's my upbringing. Very chaotic upbringing. Moved to Ireland for a year when I was about 9.
Wow. Came
back home. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So when you were growing up, did you have a big inspiration to have these big dreams, or you did?
So I remember every weekend when I'd be at my dad's, we'd always be watching Casualty every Saturday night. That would be our little... And I used to be, Dad, I want to do that when I'm older. I want to do that. That's going to be me. Then as I grow older and started going to college, doing my health and social care, then I started steered towards like midwifery. And then when I become a nurse, I just knew. I did my first placement in A&E and I was like, yeah, this is where I want to be.
You knew that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah, and I knew it from a young kid, so...
Yeah, did you used to get all the little sets that you could buy from, them little sets?
Yeah, first aid kit, a stethoscope, I had it all. I was the first kid on the playground whenever anyone fell over. Aww. That was it, I was the first person there. Is everything all right? Let me see the blood.
That's really quite a little sweet story, actually. I like that. So it's always been in you, quite nurturing, quite a caring person, obviously, which brought you to... the emergency department. Yes. I bet you see some sights in there, right?
Yes, definitely. It's an eye-opener, definitely an eye-opener. And I don't think people on the outside actually realise how much of an eye-opener it is until you're in it, until you see it. And it's from one end of the spectrum to another. Like it's, obviously you see it all over the news, what's happening in the A&E departments at the minute. Like they are absolutely chocker crazy. And it's a sad situation. It really, really is a sad situation how the system has got. But unfortunately, it is a system, and all we can do is just do what we can
try and go with
and try and improve as well. Try and improve the system. Try and bring improvement of quality into the system, really.
Do you feel like the NHS has suffered a lot due to the fact that a lot of medics have now moved into aesthetics and maybe have moved out of that field completely, and that's put extra pressure on?
I wouldn't say so necessarily. I would say as an A&E department, we have lost a lot of very good, very valued members of staff because of the pressures, because of the high volume, because of the just the way the system is really, and the very little support you get. People do move on to other areas. People do see other opportunities, and they're like, well, why am I putting up with this? Why am I working these long hours? Why am I putting myself under this pressure when I could be doing this?
Yeah, and I think that's definitely shone through because I've interviewed quite a few medics now, especially that are working within hospitals, and they all tell me the same thing. And it's like you have to do something with like a reward factor in mind.
Yeah.
And I think that reward is just getting lower and lower, and it's quite
yeah. Don't get me wrong, I love what I do. I love my job in A&E as a nurse. Just been promoted to sister as well.
Amazing. Congratulations. That's great.
So I do. We have I'd say I have a very love-hate relationship with the NHS system as a whole. But I love working in the A&E department. I love the chaos. I love the unorganised chaos. And the just not knowing, and it's a bit of an adrenaline.
Yeah, you thrive in that environment.
I thrive off adrenaline, which is why I think having that side and having the aesthetic side in my clinic, it's a good balance. It doesn't sound it, but because it makes sense.
What's kind of coming to my mind now is how are you actually juggling all of this, because you're a mum. You've got you got 2 little boys.
1 little boy.
Just 1 little boy. Yeah. Okay, so you've got your little boy. You've got your aesthetics business that you run on your own, I'm assuming. Yeah. Yep. And then you've got your nursing as well. Yeah. How?
I mean, so I started university when my little boy was 6 months old. And how I actually got to taking that jump into my nursing was my little boy.
Right.
I think if I hadn't have had him, my goal was I want to go and travel on cruise ships. I want to go work on a cruise ship. I want to go and travel.
It's quite changed your life then, really, hasn't it?
But I thought, like, when I had him, I thought, no, I need a career. Like, that's not a career. It is a career going working on cruise ships, and you can make a career out of it. But I need something stable where I can be at home, but also a career that I can progress in. Yeah, so I started university when he was like 5 months old. That was a very difficult time. That was a very, very difficult time. I was in a difficult relationship with my son's dad.
People don't realise, I'm kind of glad that you mentioned that, because people don't realise, and I say this a lot when I'm doing my mentoring, how relationships can affect what you're doing on a day-to-day basis if the relationship is toxic, or if the relationship is
100%.
Because mentally how that drains you is just another level.
Yeah, completely.
And I think it's so important that we kind of bring this up and we discuss it, because actually you can have the most amazing business plan and the best ideas, but if you're in a situation,
your head's not in it,
you've got someone that's there that's sucking your energy, it's so hard.
There was
so for you to do that, you know, that's
there was so many, like, the relationship was toxic. I'm not going to go into that, but there were so many times when I was like, I can't do this. Like, something needs to give. Yeah. And for me, because I wasn't in the right mindset, it was going to be the nursing that was going to give, not him. Yeah. But then when I got myself into the right mindset with just support of family, support of friends, just the guidance that I needed at the time, and my little boy, him being the main thing, was no, I can't bring him up in this environment any longer. Like, it needs to stop.
So that must have been really quite a tough decision to make for you at that time.
That was difficult. It was very difficult. But now I look back and it was like, it feels like a million years ago.
Feels like another life.
Yeah, it feels like it never happened. I'm like, how did I do that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember like doing my night shift, 3 night shifts in a row as a student, not getting paid because you don't get paid as a student, being on placement, 3 night shifts, not seeing my boy for like 4 nights, go to pick him up from my mum's. My mum's been amazing. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do any of this without her.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, she's been like...
Shout out to Keshia's mum.
She's literally been like the other half of me. Like, just... I wouldn't have been able to get through anything without her.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah, so she's amazing.
Oh. That's a really nice... You know what? That is like just so inspirational. And I think sometimes people... They don't always either realise or they're not prepared
Yeah.
the journey of them hard times in order to get the good times. I think there's a lot of people that are looking for quick wins at the minute.
Yeah.
And I think anything worth having that's good, it never comes easy.
It never comes
easy.
and it doesn't come straight away.
No, you have to work and put the foundations in, and you know, you have to have all your blocks there, don't you, before you can start kind of adding to that.
And I think you've also got to go through really, really rough times to be able to get to where you want to be. But then that's if you ever, for me personally, I'm somebody who there's always something to improve on. There's always something that I want to be doing next. People always say to me, like, Keshia, when will you be at where you want to be? I don't know. I don't think I ever will, because I'm always thinking about the next thing, if that makes sense.
Are you quite a mindful person then? Do you practice a lot of gratitude and things like that, or are you just kind of
Not
more
really.
everyday, quite positive, get up and go?
Yeah, I'd say so. Obviously I have my days, I have my down days. I will go like a period of months where I'm like, get up, go, positive attitudes, and then I'll have like a couple of weeks where I'll just crash, and I'm like, I needed this. But you've got to have them times.
Yeah, and especially if you're working such long hours, it's going to take its toll.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've cut my hours down now in A&E, so I'm only part-time in A&E now, which is amazing. It's so much better for my work-life balance, to be able to manage my clinic, manage my clients, pick up my training days, start up my academy. So yeah, I definitely feel like I've got a good work balance now. It's took me a few years
just to get that practice in place. And the clinic looks amazing. So when did you establish the clinic then? What year was that?
So the clinic was established in 2020, so that's when we started KHJ Aesthetics.
Nice.
But I opened the actual clinic in 2023.
Okay. Perfect.
Quite a funny story actually. When this shop became available, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is the area. I grew up in that area.
Okay.
And I moved out of that area when I become an adult. When I had Kingsley, I had my little boy, I moved out of that area. So yeah, my clinic is back in the area where I grew up.
Oh,
so I feel like
it's like
it's starting there where I started, where I grew up, where I grew.
That's nice though.
Yeah. So I was at the time, I was like, oh, do I take this shop on? Is it the right one? And I thought, no, maybe that means something. Maybe that is fate. Let's try. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see where it goes.
What was your biggest challenge when you opened that? Because obviously you've opened it with not any clients, I'm assuming, because it was a completely new venture for you.
No, so I did have my clients because I worked from home.
Okay.
Yeah. So I ran my clinic from home for the first 3 years.
Okay, so those clients just transitioned over into that, and that worked quite smoothly, did it?
Yeah, it did. And I thought to myself, if you want to build this aesthetics career, you want to build this business, and you want to let it grow, as in opening an academy, like you need to get into a premises because this can't happen at home.
Yeah.
So that's what made me make that jump, really. What did you ask me? What else did you ask me?
No, it's fine. That's it. So, did you find that quite a scary time when you was decided to open
challenging.
that?
Yeah, it was difficult. It was scary. It was definitely not something that I thought about in the beginning when I started doing aesthetics.
Yeah.
But eventually I thought, no, this needs to happen. This is the time. I think there's always going to be some insecurities, especially, so this was just after COVID. So COVID times.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if we went into another pandemic? Would I be able to afford this premises? How would I be able to run it? How would I be able to pay the rent every month if we go into another pandemic? All those things will go through my mind, but you just have to. You've got to take that chance, and you've got to take risks in life, because if you don't, then you're not going to get anywhere. You've got to take these risks to be able to then reflect on that.
Absolutely. And I think risk taking is the biggest thing in business, because even if you take a risk and it doesn't pay off, you still learn from taking the risk.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like you can either kind of stay in that comfort zone and just stay there, but you're kind of always going to be the same.
Yes.
You know, and the problem with that is other people are going to come in and take over you, and you're going to get left behind.
Yeah. And it's the same with taking opportunities as well. So not even like just taking risks, but taking opportunities. And I used to be very much a person where I thought opportunities come to you, take opportunities that come to you. But actually, in 2024, I actually told myself, Keshia, opportunities don't always come to you. You need to chase opportunities. You need to bring those opportunities to yourself, which is why New Year's Eve when I messaged you.
So cute.
And here I am, out of my comfort zone. So that was another thing as well. I said to myself, I want to step out of my comfort zone in 2025. I want to do things that I don't generally feel comfortable with, but I need to step out of that comfort zone.
I love that. And we're only 23 days into the month and you're already here.
So, I feel like I've ticked a couple of boxes there, stepped out of my comfort zone, and I've created an opportunity for myself.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's really good advice, actually, to give to other people that might be listening.
Yeah.
Opportunities are great, but you sometimes have to chase them.
Yeah, they don't fall in your lap.
Yeah,
they don't.
Yeah, not all the time. You know, it doesn't always run like that, does it?
No, some people they do. Some people are really lucky. I can probably say a time where an opportunity has fell in my lap. I haven't chased them all the time, but that's 99% of the time. Like, you need to chase those opportunities, and if I can give anyone any advice, that's what I'd give.
Yeah, that's nice.
Go and create opportunities.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So you're offering a really nice wide variety of services in the clinic. Looks really nice. So you're doing your fillers, your botulinum toxins, your skin boosters. What is your favourite treatment to do, Keshia?
1 or 2? How many can I give?
Let's go with 2.
2.
I'll let you have 2. I was only going to let you have 1, but we'll do 2.
So I would say my two favourite treatments, I would say probably anti-wrinkle and chin filler.
Yeah.
Chin filler
is such a game changer, right?
It is such a game changer.
Yeah.
And I definitely need more of it. But that is a work in progress. And as we know, like, practitioners don't always look after themselves. They like to make everybody else look beautiful, but
that's it. We forget ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, anti-wrinkle and chin filler, definitely, 100%. Yeah. I'd say mainly because they are both tweakments and give that youthful appearance to both upper and lower of the face, which give a whole transformation.
It's more harmonisation, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's getting that balance as well, that facial balance, and chin filler is so underrated.
It is, and I think it's one of those treatments where a few years ago everyone was thinking that the solution was actually to get jawline filler.
Yeah.
But I hardly ever put jawline fillers in anyone.
Yeah. So I've got a story, actually. I had a client the other week who really, really wanted jaw filler. She was like, I want a really defined, structured jaw. I really, really want to elongate this area. And I was like, right, I don't think it's jaw filler that you need.
Yeah.
And I thought, do you know what? You could go to a practitioner out there that would say, I'll put 4 mils in your jaw.
Yeah, of course.
And that's a lot of money in their pocket. So I could have quite easily done that, but I'm not that type of person. So I am very ethical. I am very honest with my clients. And I said, let's just try 1 mil of filler in your chin and let's see what you think. And she was literally over the moon. Yeah. She couldn't believe it. She was like, I don't need jaw filler.
Yeah.
She couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's a lot of misconception, I think, with this.
Yeah.
And because there are, unfortunately, practitioners out there that aren't always so ethical, I think that's what makes it harder.
Yeah,
because they kind of have this idealisation in their mind, don't they? It's difficult.
Yeah, definitely. And I think educating your clients as well, like educating your clients that actually, like, these other little tweakments can actually make such a difference rather than adding so much filler to your face when it's not needed. Like, it's not necessary. If it's not necessary, don't do it. If it's not, if minimal tweakments can make the appearance that you want to create, then why add extra when you don't need it? Yeah,
definitely. So, and I think it's just, like you said, about educating your client. Yeah. And obviously you are moving towards education with your academy. Yeah. And are you offering everything within the academy that you currently deliver yourself?
Yes, pretty much. So just bringing in a couple of new courses this year.
That's nice.
Which are more advanced level. So last year was more foundation level. Those are the courses I brought in last year. This year's more advanced.
Okay.
So yeah, it's exciting.
So from a teaching point of view, do you prefer to teach people that are already established, that are already injecting, or do you prefer to teach people from complete scratch? Because I'm assuming as a nurse you teach in medics and non-medics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I like a mixture, to be fair.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I like a mixture, and I think for different reasons as well. Like, I do find a lot of people who are new coming into the aesthetics industry, whether it's medic or non-medic, I think they have this conception of coming into the industry, it's going to be easy, I can just inject people, I'll bring in lots of money. And actually, when they come onto a course and they're actually realising, actually, this isn't as easy as I thought, there's a lot more to it, especially the depth of the anatomy and physiology, what we cover.
Yeah.
And they realise, actually, this isn't
because it's
as
hard
easy as I thought it would be. Yeah. And even when they've passed the course and they've passed the training, I don't think people realise how much support they need. And that is one of the things that on my pathway course that we do offer is support. You do get a 5-hour shadowing day after you've finished your
oh, that's
completion.
a nice little addition.
Yeah, just because I think as well, when I first qualified in aesthetics, fine on the day, I've got my training providers there, very reputable training providers, really, really good on the day, absolutely fine. But when you step out and then you step into your own clinic and you're on your own, that is the scariest time. When you're on your own for that first day, and that's why I wanted to offer it to students.
Yeah, and I think that's nice that you offer that, because I was actually discussing this with another guest that I had on last week, because every industry is regulated to a point where you have to have like a minimum amount of people that you would practice on, if you like, especially within, you know, nursing, doctors. You don't just get to do one person or, you know, 10 people and that's it. There's like a protocol that you have to follow. Yeah. But because there's nothing set like that in this industry, it's almost like you've kind of set your own little protocol, which is nice. And I think, that's testament to you, really, for wanting your students to do well and making sure that the public are safe.
Yeah, make sure the public are safe, and just making sure my students feel comfortable and feel confident.
Yeah, because they've invested a lot into wanting to train, so you need to make sure that they're looked after.
And I just want to be that more like that comfort blanket for them on the first day, their first clinic.
That's your nurturing side coming out
There's
again,
my
isn't it,
Keshia? My nurturing side, my mum's side. Just being that comfort blanket. I actually have another practitioner who I trained, who works in my clinic.
Okay, nice.
I trained her, and so I remember when she was first trained and was doing first lots of lips, and she was like, Keshia, I just need you to be there. And I'm like, you don't. You're doing really well. You're doing amazing. You're absolutely fine. Like, your work's really, really good. Yeah. And even now she'll go, just hang around. And I'm like, you don't need me there.
Yeah,
like,
I have
just a comfort blanket for me.
Yeah. But
but it's
nice. Kind of sweet, isn't it?
I love that, yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of sweet. So another question that I wanted to ask, that I've not actually had a chance to ask anyone yet, is obviously with treatments, there is complications, because there are practitioners out there that obviously aren't doing such a good job. Yeah. Are you seeing an influx in patients going to A&E with vascular occlusions and complications from fillers?
Okay. I'm going to be honest. I've seen a couple. I wouldn't say I've seen a massive amount.
Okay.
What this says for the future, if like regulations don't come in place, I do not know. I feel like regulations will come in place. When they will come in place, I don't know. Yeah. But when they do come into place, that'd be great. It'd be amazing. I do feel like when these regulations come in place, something needs to be inputted into the NHS system with regards to aesthetic complications and how we deal with them in an emergency setting, because aesthetics is growing. It's massive. It's huge. It's only going to get bigger. And there will be times when people come in with complications. I don't know if the popularity of that will increase, but it will happen. And we need to know how to deal with that. Well,
definitely. And is Hyalase kept on site in A&E if you did have that happen?
No.
That
interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this is something I'm looking into myself at the minute and thinking,
Because if the practitioners let you down, you go to A&E, of course, because you're having a medical emergency at that point. Yeah. But A&E do not have Hyalase.
So what do you do? Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know where this is. I don't know where it's going to go. But I do definitely believe that when regulations are brought in place, accident emergency departments need to know how to deal with this.
Yeah.
Or even, accident emergency department would be the perfect place for it. Hopefully, that client feels comfortable enough to go back to their practitioner as a first port of call. But say their practitioner's not around, say their practitioner's not answering the phone, say anything could happen. Say they don't feel comfortable to go back to their practitioner.
Yeah.
They're going to need somewhere to come, and A&E department is going to be where it's going to be. So
yeah, sure. Absolutely. So what is your kind of overall opinion on the whole medic, non-medic? What are your beliefs on this?
Okay. So obviously as a medic myself, I have no qualms with medics, non-medics. There are a lot of amazing non-medic practitioners out there, and a lot of people that I look up to, that are an inspiration to me, that I follow, that I one day want to be like regardless whether they're medic or non-medic. And these people have actually took a lot of time, they've actually put a lot of work into their work, they've excelled in their knowledge, they've gone and trained with reputable people, they've put their all into everything they're doing, and that's what more can you ask for?
Yeah, that's really
from a
nice.
Practitioner.
Yeah,
they're making sure they're safe, they're making sure their clients are safe, they're in a safe environment, they know how to deal with complications.
Exactly.
That is the biggest thing. And I think there are a lot of aesthetic practitioners out there that do give non-medics a bad name, which is a shame, but that's because there's no regulations in place.
Yeah, it's not necessarily down to that person, because they've been let down by their training provider in many instances. The training providers let them down by just giving them quick training to earn quick money and sent them on their way. Yeah,
exactly. And if regulations were to be put in place, hopefully we wouldn't have this.
Yeah.
And would have better training providers out there, would have safer clinics, would have
and we can all kind of collaborate together rather than this.
Definitely. And I think non-medics and medics work really, really well together. So the pathway course that I offer is myself as a medic and a non-medic training, and the reason I did that was because I thought I want to portray and teach from different perspectives. So
it's more of an inclusive.
I'm going to have students that are medics and non-medics. I don't want them to sit there and be like, I don't know what she's talking about, she's talking to medic. Do you know what I mean?
So you're trying to kind of make sure that it's streamlined to everyone, and that it's that's really nice. That's good.
Actually, so Talia, who's KHJ Aesthetics, that's who I do my pathway course with. Talia is very good at, so she will go into like the non-medic side. She will also explain how she feels as a non-medic, how she feels in the industry as a non-medic, and she will explain that to students. And don't be scared that you're a non-medic. Don't be worried if anybody approaches you and isn't very nice, because some people can be like that.
You've got to have pretty tough skin sometimes, I think, for this industry.
Yes, definitely.
Because it can be. I think that's probably the most challenging part of the industry. It can feel like quite a lonely place anyway. And then when you kind of add these pressures on, it's even worse.
Definitely. So I have clients coming to me that will say, their new clients have come to me and they say, oh, I've come to you because I know you're a nurse. And I even have to explain it to my clients, like, I do appreciate that. That's really, really nice. However, there are non-medics out there that are amazing at what they do.
That's nice. So you're really championing for non-medics, really.
Definitely. And I just don't. I see where it all comes from. I see why people think how they think.
And the UK has been one of the worst examples in general of bad practice. It has.
Definitely. I think from an education point of view, I would say when regulations do come in place, I think people also need to learn like the pharmaceutical side of aesthetics. If you're going in to be a practitioner,
that would be nice.
You need to know if your clients are on a certain medication, because you don't get taught this.
No, and I think this is where the gap is. And I've just finished
There's
a few months ago, I just finished my level 7, the level 7 accredited qualification.
Yeah.
Great, really good. Lots of information in there, but still little gaps.
Yeah.
You know, there were still little things in there that I thought, oh, that would have been good to have that in.
I know we have prescribers, and prescribers do have that pharmaceutical side. But I think as a practitioner, you need to know if your clients are on a certain medication, can that be a contraindication for something else?
Yeah, and it allows you to take more control of the situation and not have to rely on anyone else. Because, and I think this is where on the flip side of things, it's kind of like, not sad, that's the wrong word, but obviously if you're a medic, you have your GMC on the line. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Whereas if you're a non-medic, you don't have that. Yeah. So it's like, that needs equalising a little bit that everyone's under the same kind of not stress, just regulation, just so that everyone's on an equal playing field.
Yeah, definitely. And everyone's taught at the same level. Yes. You have to be taught at this level as a base to be able to practice aesthetics. Yeah, definitely. That's what there needs to be. And it's a shame. It is a shame. Because I've looked into doing aesthetics elsewhere. I'm not going to mention where. And it is not easy.
No, it's not.
It's not easy to get into. Yeah. It is hard work. I'm currently in the process at the minute, but it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. Yeah. And I thought, actually, that's how it should be. It shouldn't be an easy industry to get into, and it is.
Yeah. Yeah, because of how the complications can arise, and it's just dealing with them and making sure, you know, that everyone's at the same level. So, yeah, definitely, I agree. So, you've achieved a lot. Obviously kind of from getting your nursing degree, you've been promoted to sister, which is amazing, so that's just obviously going to make you more busy. Is it? I say hopefully. I like to be busy. Obviously you're a mum, you've got family life going on. What does the future look like now for you from this point?
Obviously I want to expand KHJ Aesthetics, so that will be expanding. I have to keep quiet about that though.
Okay.
I'm not going to mention much more about that. But definitely there's always room for expansion. There's always room to expand, as in expanding location, expanding in your knowledge, expanding in your clinic as a whole, expanding with your clientele. Yeah. That's another thing that I'm working on as well, expanding to a broader clientele. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just flipping the switch from what you're used to and what runs on a regular to actually getting to that next level up and going, okay, this is the next milestone of my career that's actually going to take me to X, Y, and Z, whatever that end goal is for you.
Yeah, definitely. So another one of my goals for 2025 was to concentrate on one thing at a time, because I'm always thinking about the next thing before I've even finished the last thing.
Yeah. And then before you know it, you have 10 projects on the go and you're like,
and that's
I'm
when
so
I crash
overwhelmed.
and I'm like,
I
can't do this.
Yeah.
But I haven't ticked that box yet, because I've still got probably 5-6 things on the go at the minute that I'm trying to do.
Yeah. So you just
that one.
Look, no one's perfect. Everything's a work in progress.
And I think that's just me. I think as much as I can try and just concentrate on one thing at a time, I'll never be able to do it. It's just me. I've got a busy brain. Yeah. I've got a busy life. I grew up in a busy household. I think it's just who I am. Yeah. But I think also I wouldn't be where I am today if
you didn't have that character trait. Yeah. Because it takes a certain type of person to really be able to be like that. Yeah. And it's like, I have a younger sister. Yeah. And you would never know we were sisters in the sense of we're so different in how we are. Really? Like, she will just live life in the slow lane, but she's perfectly happy with that, and that makes her happy.
That's fine.
But I think, oh my God, you give me anxiety.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, I'm just like, I could not be like that ever in a million years. That I have to be up early, what's on the agenda for the day, ticking things off my to-do list. That's how I operate. Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it?
Which is why I think I love A&E.
Yeah,
that's why I love working in A&E, because it's that
rush.
Environment. Yeah, it's the rush, it's the madness, it's the chaos.
What do you like to do in your spare time? Do you have any spare time?
What spare time? Spare time. What do I like to do in my spare time? To be honest, I couldn't tell you.
That's bad.
I couldn't
That
tell
is
you.
bad.
That is really bad.
So maybe a goal would be to find something for yourself to do in your spare time. You're very busy, you're under a lot of pressure, and you know it's important for you, Keshia, that you do something in your spare time for yourself.
That should be a goal of mine, actually.
Yeah, I think we should put that on the list.
That is a good goal.
And sometimes you don't realise until someone asks you, because you're so busy in the moment of thinking about work, that you don't actually think, hang on a minute, what do I actually do in my spare time? It's so hard. And I was in this position last year. Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to start going to the gym more. I'm going to get into something. But yeah, it's hard unless I think you're challenged with it, because we tend to put other people first.
Everyone else comes first before yourself. I think last year I was going to the gym a little bit, and that was a little bit of me time. And then things just get on top, and then think,
before you know
the gym
it
this morning because I've got this to do. But one thing I have started doing actually is in the mornings. So when you say about mindset, gratitude, in the mornings. So this year, so for last 23 days, I have been waking up extra early in the morning and just giving myself that half an hour. Just with no phone,
They say that. Yeah, they say that the really trick is to not, because I'm a bugger. I wake up and the first thing I do is look at my phone, see what emails I've had. Yeah. But actually, you're supposed to give it 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's true. That's what I've been told as well. I've heard the same
Have you felt better for it?
I have actually, but I don't know in what way.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just a more relaxed mind when I actually get up, then instead of like a mad rush, like jump up, right, let's get ready.
Yeah, and then you feel so bad because your kids are just like, Mum, like, what the hell? Like,
what's going on?
Yeah.
Just woke up.
Yeah, you're like, get dressed.
To be fair,
feel like a hag.
It's normally my son with me. He's like, Mum, come on, I'm dressed and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's really good.
How old is he?
He's 9.
Oh, okay, my son's 9 and he's the complete opposite. Yeah, I have to be like, come on, like, hurry up.
Get him out the door.
But he sits on his iPad and he's so frustrating.
That's it. And then once they go into that tunnel of
I'm going to start
technology.
banning the iPad in the morning. That's what I'm going to start doing, because he just sits on that and that's all he wants to do.
So it takes him like 10 hours to eat his breakfast because he's watching the iPad.
Exactly.
I know the feeling. I know it well. I think since my son was very similar until he started walking to school on his own.
Now he walks to school on his own.
He's only across the road, but since he started walking to school on his own, he's like took a bit of responsibility for himself.
Feels like a big boy now. Yeah.
Like, let me do your coat up. No, Mum, I'm going to be late. And I'm like, okay.
I don't know about your little boy, but my little boy's banned me from saying certain things at the gate. I'm not allowed to call him baby. There's no babe. I have to call him like by his name. Not allowed to kiss him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. If that hadn't happened to you, it's coming and it's horrible.
Oh, wow. No, it's not happened yet.
Yeah. I'm not.
But to be fair, I've not walked him to school this term yet. So I think I've got away with it. I think he's got away with it, should I say.
It's funny, innit, having little ones.
How they get to that age and that embarrassing
it goes in like the blink of an eyelid though, like how they grow up so fast.
Do you do it on purpose to wind him up there?
Sometimes.
I would.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, bye baby, bye. And he's like, Mum,
stop it, why'd you say that? I love it.
Oh, bless him. Well, it's been really lovely to have you on and to have a chat. I do need to tell you've done absolutely amazing.
Really?
You've made a really, amazing career for yourself, for your lad. And, you obviously have been on your own, obviously, because obviously you mentioned. So, you've done really well. So, I just wanted to say.
Journey, but...
Yeah, but, you're here and you're strong and, you're pushing
still
forward.
Got to go. The journey doesn't stop here.
We have to carry on.
It's still carrying on.
You're providing a really, solid future and everything for your son. So, it's really inspirational.
Oh, amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, that's everything for today and we'll see you on the next episode.